HiroQuest 2.0 released this week, but is it going to be as big as HiroQuest Genesis? Let's talk about it. Kicking us off this week, we got our first look at an Art Keychain for the Seance Pin Club partnership. The partnership this time around will not be pins, but keychains. I, for one, am excited for this change because I am more likely to use keychains than I am a pin. And we've now had many pin set releases. It's actually nice to switch it up a little bit. Within the next week, we're expecting the announcement for the animation partnership, and there have been some hints at who it could be based on some of the announcements in the past. MetaZoo has toured the Toei Animation Studios, and they've made points to point out their location at certain conventions like New York City Comic Con in relation to Toei. And if you're unfamiliar with Toei, they've done work with One Piece, various Dragon Ball animes, and Digimon. That is just speculation, but it is odd that they've made a point to point out their location to Toei at booths for various conventions. Starting this spring, we can expect 10 3 to 5 minute shorts for MetaZoo. After the announcement of the animation studio, there will be information on casting calls and how you can participate in the shorts. Mike has been very upfront since the beginning that he wants to make sure that the community is involved in the shorts or the anime, and he's worked hard to make sure that we can be involved. So if you are interested in voice acting for the shorts or the show, definitely keep an eye on the announcements, keep an eye on this channel, because I will be covering that. Art and R&D for Native has started, and Native will not be out until next March, so we have a long time frame between now and then for the art and R&D to be done. Typically speaking, the cards are actually sent off to the printers about 2 to 3 months before the actual release, so we have about 2 months of hardening before we get to that point. There have been some issues with the recent sets on variations in holo versus reverse holo. By now you've heard that Seance is mappable in the sense that if you open 4 packs, you can figure out how many holos you have in the box. So I hope that the added time between now and Native includes additional quality assurance testing. A number of the Genesis NFT cards have been teased this week. Last week we got a look at the Bigfoot card. This week we're getting a look at Salem Witches, which is done by Poncho, River Dinos, which is done by Jet Yates, and Sewer Alligator, which is also done by Jet Yates. And if you want one of these cards, you just need to purchase a Neo Genesis NFT. If you go to OpenSeas, it's in the same project as the PFPs. You can find them easily by sorting by most recently created. And if you purchase one of those by November 18th, you will be eligible for the corresponding card once it becomes available. The snapshot will be taken on November 18th. We're finally going to be getting more information on the MetaZoo Foundation this coming week. The MetaZoo Foundation, if you don't remember, is the charity organization that MetaZoo is setting up. It's been mentioned in passing in the past, and it sounds like we're finally going to get details on what it's going to entail. We had another staff birthday this week. Kris Campman's birthday was on November 11th. And this is the first time that I've seen Mike be serious for a birthday announcement. He had mentioned how he met Kris at the first Collecticon that MetaZoo had attended. Kris was there selling Pokemon prints that he was doing. And this was back when Mike was having trouble handing out Kickstarter packs to people. So this was about 1.5 years ago, a long time ago in the sense of how old MetaZoo is. And Kris served as the art director for about a year between Nightfall and Seance. So Kris, happy birthday, and I hope it was a good one. We've had 2 members of the community honored this week with Crafters medals. The first was Minman. You might know Minman from the NFT channel, where he collects information about the NFTs, the floor price, the ceiling price, how many were sold in the last 24 hours, and compiles that data for everybody to easily find. He's also been helping Mike with the NFT side of things for about a year now, and is getting recognized for the work that he's done with MetaZoo on the NFTs. Congratulations, Minman, it's well-deserved. The second is Jody, and I shouldn't really have to introduce Jody. Everybody, I believe, knows who Jody is. Jody's been recognized for his work on MetaZoo HQ, which is the prime website to go to for information about MetaZoo. Most notably, it's where people go to get their card lists for certain sets, as well as other various bits of information about MetaZoo. And I would like to personally thank Jody myself as well. Jody's a big inspiration for this channel. If it wasn't for Jody, I don't think I would be here today. A lot of the early work that I did was based off of what I was finding on MetaZoo HQ. So Jody, congratulations. I'm really happy that you've been recognized for the work that you've put in on MetaZoo HQ. Thank you. MetaZoo has decided to open the floodgates for everybody who has been banned in the past. At the time that I'm recording this, the floodgates have not opened, and I'm torn on how this could go. It could either be good and allow people back into the community that want to be here but got banned for whatever reason. People that now may understand that it's a company-run Discord and that you can't just say whatever you want and spout negativity about the game. But what I feel like is going to happen is that those floodgates are going to open, and then you're going to have these people who just want to crap on MetaZoo jump back in the Discord, start wreaking havoc, and then they're just going to get banned right away again. I do feel that a number of people have been banned that shouldn't have been. People I know personally have been banned and they don't know why. So what this does allow is those people to get back into the community, be part of the core community again, clean the slate for anybody who has been wrongly banned, and those people that have been banned that deserve the ban, they're going to pop back in, they're just going to get banned again. So ultimately, I think this is a great thing. I think it's a good show of faith by MetaZoo. And I do feel like there's going to be a few short hours of discourse in the Discord once these floodgates open of people that want to cause a panic. Ultimately, I'm here for it. Those people will just be banned again and out of the community again, and things will stabilize over the week. And to the mods, a moment of silence. Okay, moving on. And I did decide to check in after the Great Unbanning and record this here, and it did actually go a lot better than I expected. A lot of people came back in. They were civil and nice in the chat. They were happy to be back. The community was very involved in welcoming those people back. And yes, there were some people that were coming back and still being negative, but overall the experience was a lot smoother than I had expected that to go. Earlier in the week, Andy did a drop and delete of Turkey Day Tahoe Tessie. This is a water-based card that a lot of the information is grayed out on. We know it has 60 LP, it'll cost 1 neutral and 2 water, but a lot of the other information is very hard to make out here. The Thanksgiving set will have dropped by the time this video aired. It was announced that it will be at noon Eastern time on Monday. So by the time you're watching this, you probably already know more than I'm going to be able to provide here, so I'm going to move on. Now, there was an ominous update in the chat from Mike. This was not an announcement that SCP will be the full fall set for 2023. There were a few people that tried to ask clarifying questions on if that means the mini set is cancelled, but there was no response. So as of right now, there is no confirmation if that means the mini set that was supposed to release in the December-January timeframe is cancelled. Now, I don't want to cause alarm, but just in case, be ready for that if you are looking forward to the SCP mini set. It's possible that we may not see the mini set and that we're actually going to see it as a full set next fall. Overall, that could be a good thing. That could be more time to perfect the SCP cards, to really get into the lore of the background of SCP and make a much more well-designed set. Before we get to the top story, we need to resolve last week's trivia. For last week's question, we had asked, if you have an empty arena and you contract Casey Jones, let's say you have Ghost Train in your spellbook, what is the maximum damage that you can do to the opposing caster on that turn? And let's also assume, just for the sake of the trivia question, that you don't contract any further pages from your chapter for that turn. And the answer to that question is 200, and that's because Casey Jones gets contracted, which allows Ghost Train to come for free out of the spellbook. Casey Jones can then sacrifice himself to do 100 damage to the opposing caster. That'll send Casey to the afterlife, which can trigger Ghost Train's ability to put Casey Jones under Ghost Train. Ghost Train can then use its ability to bring Casey Jones back out. Casey Jones can then sacrifice himself again for another 100 damage, which then sends him to the afterlife and then can be put under Ghost Train. And we have everyone's name who got this correct up on the spin wheel here. We're just going to give that a couple of shuffles, and then we will spin that to figure out who won this week's gift card for $15 to Immortal Workshop. And the winner is Matthew Johnson. For this week's question, you have a Wingok and a Grunch Road monster on your side of the arena. The opposing caster has a Hodag. Hodag has been put to sleep. You are wearing a snakeskin belt. There are no Terras active in the arena. What is the maximum damage that Grunch Road Monster does to Hodag? Answer that question correctly and you'll be in the running for next week's gift card for $15 to Immortal Workshop. For the top story this week, HiroQuest 2.0 had released on Thursday this week at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. The public sale sold out in 30 minutes, and if you missed the public sale, you're not out of luck. If you have an NFT, NFT holders can purchase up to 5 per token that they have. Or if you don't have an NFT, partners have allocations for these as well. Some partners are currently selling them, and I know some partners are waiting until they have them in hand to put them on their websites as well. So you're not completely out of luck if you missed the drop. Now, with HiroQuest Genesis, there was 30,000 packs or 30,000 cards in the set. These packs will have multiple cards in them, and there is definitely going to be more than 30,000 overall cards. So the rarity on your cards is going to be lower than HiroQuest 1. When you consider that there was a public sale, an NFT sale, and partners will have general availability of these, the print run is probably going to be higher than 30,000 as well. So if you're expecting HiroQuest 2.0 to skyrocket like HiroQuest Genesis did, I wouldn't expect it to follow the same trends of 10 times the price of what it was originally. And it was also teased that there's going to be cards seeded in, basically secret rares, that will be redeemable for some kind of event in the future. The thought here is that it could be a Steve Aoki concert. We got to look at a pack art featuring Chi-Chi. I do believe this is just a mock-up, because all of the text on it mentions Seance, not HiroQuest. So most notably, it says there's 12 cards in the booster pack. I wouldn't necessarily trust that because of the mock-up. I personally believe we're looking at closer to 3 to 4 cards per booster pack. And for the blister pack arts that have been shown, we've seen some of the new beasties. We have on this first one here, Chi-Chi, the invisible cloaked robot that we've seen in the card teases, Mini T-Rex. On this second one, we have a giant two-headed monster that's full of eyeballs, a knife-wielding murderer lady, possibly a caster, and what looks like a new Grim Reaper variant. On this third one, we have an Oyo piglet. There's also a robot in the back there that looks kind of butlery-ish. And on this last one, I'm actually very interested to know if this is a Astral Mothman variant. We know we're going to see Hero again, and I personally believe that we're also going to see Mothman again in 2.0. Now, I don't know if this is related to HiroQuest, but Mike dropped this history lesson of a card that Poncho designed. The art here is based off of a Superboy panel, and the concept for the card was an invincibility spell. Now, with HiroQuest, we've seen a lot of inspiration from other animes or sources of pop culture, so it's possible that this could be a HiroQuest tease. Well, that's all I had for this week, and if you missed last week's weekly update, we talked about all of the new secret rares that had been pulled since Seance released, and you can catch that right there. So, thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.